Welcome to the world of exploration. Welcome to the world of learning. Let's start exploring. Let's start learning. This is your very own educator, teacher, philosopher, guide, mentor, preacher, teacher, one and all. And this is the one stop destination that is English curriculum, the Odyssey of Education or the Edifice of Education by Sukriti Joshi ma'am. All right. So actually, I already have done the live um, live recording, not recording, but I came live and I was talking about uh, I was actually I had done all the chapters, but then I don't know why my internet connection was lost. So I'll have to reshare everything, and I'll again and again, like this would be the second time that I would be telling you guys about a specific chapter, right? So we are gonna cover into this session a lot of chapters. So now, yeah, I just wanted to confirm that it's all right. So I'll share my screen and then I'll see whether it's visible or not to you guys, and just let me know whether it is visible or not in the comment section below. All right. So So I'm gonna take up chapter 4, which is a question of trust, and I've just done this chapter, but nothing was recorded, unfortunately. And when I was just about to end, then I realized that nothing has been. I was live, but nothing, no internet connection was there. So yeah. All right, having said that, let's move on. So, we're gonna do a question of trust. So, question of trust is an interesting and thrilling story which has been well written by Victor Canning, right? It has been written by Victor Canning. In the story, Horace Danby commits theft once in a year. So, he commits theft once in a year to buy some rare and expensive books he loves to read. So he actually wants some books, not the ones that you can find anywhere, but some rare, right, rare and expensive books, and therefore there is some speciality while he commits thievery or while he commits theft. And that speciality is that he doesn't rob poor people. He basically has the tendency of robbing wealthy people, rich people, affluent people, people who are having wealth, people who are having riches, right? All right. So we get to see that in the story, Danby commits theft once in a year, and he is in the habit of committing theft once in a year. And when I'm telling you guys that we are discussing this chapter, a question of trust, you have to try to relate for each and every chapter, for each and every poem. You have to relate your previous knowledge to your existing knowledge, right? So you have to relate your previous knowledge to your existing knowledge. That means, have you ever come across any chapter or any poem that revolved around theft in the previous classes or in the same class? Also, you can, even if uh, there's some other chapter or poem related to theft or thievery, you can come up with your own ideas, with your own ideologies, with your own perceptions about it, right? And you can connect it and form a link or a kind of connection, right? So for example, you came across the thief's story, which is written by Ruskin Brown, right? So you can actually connect, right, the missing dots, and you can correlate these two chapters. This is gonna be very, very helpful for you guys, for boards out there, right? So a question of trust is as I've told you, it's an interesting and thrilling. So it is kind of an adventurous, a kind of a thrilling story, which has been well written by Victor Kenning. In this story, Horace we get to see Horace Danby commits theft once in a year to buy some rare and expensive books. So he buys some rare and expensive books. He loves to read, and he loves to read as well, right? So we get to see, obviously, why will he buy us? Why will he rob people? Uh, why will he rob people? Why will he rob those books of those people uh, that are rare and that are expensive, from wealthy people, from rich people, from the elite people? Because he is in he has that quench of thirst for knowledge. He wants to read, he loves reading, he loves to know more, and books are our best friends, and earlier books were only related to the to the elite classes and not to the masses. So because books weren't readily accessible to the masses, to the normal people. They were made for the rich class, they were meant for the elite class, right? So yeah. So for this purpose, when he goes to rob the safe in a house at Chateau Chateauvoir Grange, we get to see that at Chateauvoir Grange, he finds a young lady who is actually pretending and who is posing to be the owner of the house. So she is actually, we get to see that how she's pretending to be the owner of the house, who asks him to open the safe, and who asks him to open the safe. Right now, we get on to see the characters. Right now, all of this I have done. Now, let me drink water. Now, Horace Danby. Let me have a sip of water. Water everywhere, not a single drop drink. All right. So, yeah, Horace Danby was about 50 years old and he was unmarried. Everyone thought him a good and honest citizen. So, everybody perceived him to be that he's a very good citizen, he's a very honest, obviously, honest citizen. But was he, is my thinking? Guys, please let me know if I'm audible and visible. Let me know in the chat box whether I'm audible and visible. Okay. Guys, please let me know if I'm audible and visible. Let me know in the chat box whether I'm audible and visible. Guys, please let me know if I'm audible and visible. Let me know. There was him. So everyone thought him a good and honest citizen. He was otherwise very well and happy, except for attacks of hay fever in summer. He made locks and was fairly successful at his business. So everyone thought him a good and honest citizen. He was otherwise very well and happy. So he made locks and was fairly successful at his business. Horace Danby was good and respectable, but not completely honest. So we get to see that he was respectable, he was respected in the society, he was good also, but he wasn't, he wasn't uh, uh, an honest person, so to say. He To put it in the correct order, to put it in the correct words, he he was not an epitome of honest, being an honest person. Right, so yeah. uh, he used to rob a safe every year. He used to do so because he needed money to buy books, and he What, obviously, why does one rob? So we do see that people rob because people do not have money. They want to eat, so in order to eat, they rob. People rob because they do not have shelters. They need shelters, so they need money, so therefore they rob. People rob because they feel they have the sadistic pleasure. Sometimes that by robbing people they will derive that sadistic pleasure. People rob because they don't have clothes. People rob because they don't uh, be they think that especially some people rob rich people, wealthy people, only because they think that they have additional um, money that has not come from the right path, or the correct path. So he used to rob a safe every year. He used to do so because and he his but his case was entirely different. How? Because he needed money to buy books. So he needed money to buy books, right? He had a passion for buying rare and costly books. And now again, as I've mentioned earlier, that he had a passion for buying rare and costly books. So he had this innate passion inside him. It obviously innate in which is inside him. So he had his this innate passion of having rare, that are not uh, available every like every in every household, that are rare, like a rare diamond, right? So that are rare, that are not available easily, right? So that are rare and expensive in nature, right? So yeah, he never hurt anyone, and we do get to see that he never, in this process of uh, in the process of committing theft, he never actually hurt anyone. He never hurt anyone, and he never caused any sort of damage or any sort of injury to anyone, right? And carried no weapon with him. So he did not carry any sort of gun or any sort of weapon with him. Clear? So he was not very aggressive and didn't want to go to prison. So he wasn't very aggressive. We get to see that he wasn't very aggressive. And we also do get to see that, yeah, and we also get to see that he was not very aggressive. And he didn't want to go to, obviously, what, which place? Prison, right? Now, the lady, we come on to the lady in red, right? So, the lady in red is gifted with a rare personality. She is full of confidence, right? Yeah. So, the lady in red is gifted with a rare personality. She is full of confidence. She acts like a perfect actress, presenting herself as the lady of the house. Even the dog was, rubbing against her in a friendly manner. In a very subtle way, she told Horace that she wanted to wear the jewels in the safe to a party that night. She made him open the safe without gloves. Horace willingly hands over the jewels and she decamps with them, right? Now, we come on to the summary portion. So, Horace Danby, he was generally considered to be an respectable citizen. He was a 50-year-old bachelor. He lived with a housekeeper, and he lived with a housekeeper. He was an expert lockmaker, and he was an expert lockmaker, right? However, he was not completely honest. However, we do get to see he was not completely honest. He had been to prison 15 years ago for stealing for stealing jewels. He had no desire to become honest, and he even did not choose to be honest. He was careful, however, he was careful lest he should run. However, obviously he was cautious and careful. Why? Because he otherwise would run into difficulties for his dishonesty, right? Then likings and dislikings. Horace standby. He did. If you have any queries, guys, please do let me know in the comment section below. I would be more than happy to help you out. Right. So if you have any queries, if you have any doubts, if you have any questions, you can let me know in the comment section below. Likings and dislikings. Horace standbys. Hated Danby, hated prison. So he was heartily fond of rare and expensive books. He used to commit one theft a year on the average. The stolen money lasted for the year. He chose the house at Shuttleworth Grange to commit his next burglary, right? He studied the design of the house carefully. So it's not an easy job to rob. He had to study the design of the house carefully for a fortnight, right? He found that the family had gone to London and the servants to the movies. So he found out that the family had gone to London. Uh, you know, uh, and servants to the movies, and servants had gone out for the movies. So he broke into the house one afternoon. He hoped to get £15,000 worth of jewels from the safe. The jewelry would enable him to buy the books he wanted. And jewelry, obviously, because it's expensive, it would help them to buy uh, the books he wanted. So he put on his gloves. He took the key from its usual place. He pacified the pet dog by addressing it with love. He reached the safe placed in the drawing room behind a painting. He was suffering from hay fever. The smell of the flowers at the table made him sneeze. Appearance of a woman. Now we get to see an appearance, yeah. Just then, a young, beautiful woman in red clothes entered the house. She posed to be the mistress of the house. She suggested to him that he should. Am I audible? She suggested to him that he should see a doctor if he was serious about his work. His see, sorry, his sneezing has brought her down from the top of the house. She thanked her stars that she had returned in time, not expecting to see a burglar in the house. To avoid trouble, Horace started conversing with her in a pleasant manner. He replied that he too had not expected to find her there. She got furious when he asked her to let him go. She threatened to get him arrested, and she even threatened him to uh, that she would get him arrested. So she threatened him. The thought of going to prison made Horace, even you know, it be- it made him shudder. you know he pledged that he would never repeat such kind of thing if he was let off, right? Clear? I'll just check whether my voice yeah. All right. Then we do get to see that how the women's mischievous role is there. So the woman took a cigarette from a silver box. Horace took off his gloves and held held his held his lighter, obviously because of cigarette. So only he opened this safe. In fact, on one would do this kind of act if she is the real owner of the house. What are the subtle ways in which the lady manages to deceive Horace Danby into, now we get on to the question and answers part. So we are gonna cover this. All right, basically, majorly, we have done the chapter, the summary, the characters, right? Basically, the major part. So, yeah, with this, I would like to come to the end of the session. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up because I had to do it twice. So, do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll be back in a while and then we'll do another one. All right, so thank you. And till then, let's all keep ourselves connected, and let's all work hard and work smart, and let's all grow together. Let's all evolve together. Let's all learn together. Let's all connect with each other. This is Sikriti Joshi, ma'am, your very own educator, teacher, philosopher, guide, mentor, preacher, teacher, one and all. And this is the one stop destination that is English curriculum, the Odyssey of education or the edifice of education. Signing off. Bye bye. We'll catch you up later. Till then, stay tuned. Do like, share, and subscribe to my channel.